Right, I'm at a relatively noisy and relatively late in the evening Stansted services on the way down to Dover. I've got basically to get the late ferry, which is a midnight ferry or just after midnight across to Calais. I've got 643 miles to go. That's because I'm heading to Lyon. So Lyon's my first port of call, really. Going to Lyon, then on to Slovenia. But I'm going to pop into Paris for breakfast because I think by that time I'll be starving. So a little bit of a diversion to Paris. So that's the plan. So this is the first leg. So it is now 7 o'clock in the evening. I've got about 4 hours. Because you've got to be there an hour early. You can hear the planes flying above me anyway, to get the ferry. So that's the plan. Head down to Dover, get off the ferry, head through to Paris, and then from Paris to Lyon. That's the first leg. About 600 miles. Not quite as crazy as some of the miles I've done on my others, but from Lyon to Slovenia is probably a 12-hour ride. That's quite a distance to go in one hit again. And then from there, I'm going to tour Slovenia, see what it has to offer before heading down to Croatia. Okay, so I'm on board the ferry now. Just it's quiet at the moment because bikes get let in first, which is good. And I'm just basically sitting in the quiet, having something to eat, because I think the last time I ate was about 11:30, 12 o'clock, which was 12 and a half hours ago, so I'm kind of hungry now. So yeah, this is it. I'm just having something to eat now, so hopefully, as you can see, the passengers are starting to come on now, so it will be quite busy in a little while. So just enjoying the peace and quiet for a few minutes. Okay, so if you can hear us over the traffic, I made it to Paris, so you can see the bike in the corner. Yeah, there were plenty of cyclists around. There were a lot of bikes around, motorbikes, but the traffic is worse than just about anywhere in the world. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, there's the Arc de Triomphe in the background. You can see the sky's pretty grey. But yeah, got here. Going to take a wander down, try and find some breakfast. Hopefully the bikes can still be here when I get back. But yeah, it's never really been the keenest person on Paris, but I thought I'd stop here and grab something to eat, simply because it's on my way. So I'm going to pop here, then I might go to probably the nicer part of Paris, which is where the Eiffel Tower is, etc. But yeah, plenty of bikes. They're all pretty much insane around here, but yeah, should be fine. So I'm going to walk up to the Eiffel Tower and have a look at the crazy traffic on there, and then I'm going to find something to eat, and I'm going to go down the Champs-Élysées and just remind myself what it was all about, because I haven't been here for a very, very, very long time. Okay, so here's the Arc de Triomphe for the world's craziest roundabout. It really hasn't changed since I was last here. Scooters everywhere. It's literally just ram your way through it. It's always been the same, look. Yeah, it's pretty much insane. I mean, here it is from a different point of view, and you'll get a bus stopping on there, or a coach. Yeah, it hasn't changed much. There are a lot of the three-wheeled Piaggio style scooters around. But yeah, that's the Arc de Triomphe there. If you can see it through the traffic. And the craziness that is the, well, don't know what it is really. It's a free-for-all. There are no rules. None at all. Now, so I'm just standing here, just literally watching the craziness that is the traffic around here, watching the tourists take pictures, etc. of a roundabout and the Arc de Triomphe. It's not the best picture in the world you could have, but you know, I suppose if you need one. But the other thing is, it's been about 2 degrees all the way through, so it's been really cold. I mean, really cold all the way through, but I found a place really to warm up a bit. It's quite weird, just by accident. So if you look down, you can see this grill, and there's about 18 to 20 degree heat rising through it from the subway. So it's kind of, you know, best thing I've found so far in Paris. But I'm going to have a look around. I'm going to remind myself what it was all about. So yeah, let's go for a little wander. It's been a while since I've been here. Can't quite remember it being so, I don't know, kind of bitty really. There's some nice buildings, and if you get away from the road and you have a look, it does look quite nice really. So the way I came in last time was from the other end, from the bottom end, basically the road I rode the bike up, which is, didn't recognise it at first, but I just saw it here, and that's why I parked up. And then you can see that there are a lot of bikes, but not really motorbikes, mostly mopeds. But it's one of the easiest ways to get around this city because it's so congested. I mean, it's absolutely so congested. There are plenty of restaurants if you look over there. And rows upon rows of bikes and mopeds. So my aim is just have a wander around, remind myself what it's all about, and then literally go and find something to eat. And as you can see, yeah, it's kind of moped city, this place. The other thing around here, there's a lot of bike stuff. So you got Shoei, Ducati, Dainese, all kind of along here. Bicycles, mopeds, motorbike stuff. You've got quite a lot here, to be honest, and it's yeah, it's quite nice to see really, because it's not something you kind of normally see. But I didn't realise it was, I don't know, there's a lot of empty shops now, which there never used to be. And that wasn't that long ago when I was here. Well, yeah, it's probably about 10 years. So things might have changed in 10 years, but there are a lot of empty units or empty shops. And just down here you got Harley Davidson, and then some more bike shops just a bit further down. So yeah, there's if you're into your bikes, there's quite a lot to do here. Peugeot motorcycles, Harley Davidson. It's quite a big store, Harley. It starts here. It's got Peugeot in the middle. It's quite weird. You got so Harley, Peugeot, Harley, Harley. Okay, and then more bikes parked outside, obviously. And then across the road you got Honda, Yamaha, and Independent, Star Motors up there. Yeah, this seems to be the street where you come to buy your car or your bikes, basically, because you've got they're all in a row, and then you've got Kia Motors, and basically I'm not sure if they're even the car ones are just demonstrator areas. I don't think they sell many. I think it's more of a just of a, you know, a showroom, a show place. And then Triumph down there, because it just seems to be moped city, basically. BMW C1 coming down here, you don't see them very often. So I wonder if things have moved away from this area because of the noise. Maybe because of the, you know, the dirt and the litter moved into the city. I don't know. Doesn't have the same vibe that it used to have. But you know, I could be wrong. I'm going to have a wander around into town, find something to eat. I think there's plenty of cafes down here, but this is all touristy stuff. Not really into the touristy stuff. You know, you've got to get your head out of the noise, and then you start seeing it. But it's a very noisy place. It's not a relaxing place. It's not. And because of that, it's not particularly what you would call pretty either. There's a lot of really nice architecture, but it doesn't kind of open itself up to kind of hit you in the face like some other towns and cities that I've been to, where you just immediately go, wow, this place, you have to look. You have to look above the traffic and look above the noise, really. Okay, so this is the Champs-Élysées. It's pretty much how I remember it. Didn't recognise this other part of town, which I'll just put on this video here. It's literally one street over, and it's very, very rough. So this is basically the main street that you see coming down on all the shops when you come into Paris. You got the Champs-Élysées here. You have all of the shops that you would associate with this part of town, such as Louis Vuitton, all that kind of thing. And it really hasn't changed. It's just very similar to what I remembered this part of town. I don't think this part's ever going to change. It's a massive tourist draw, but it's a lot easier to find architecture that kind of works, such as up here and along here, than it was trying to find architecture in one street over, basically. Just had to come around the Arc de Triomphe, which is quite nice, quite funny. But basically, yeah, this is it. So I'm going to take a wander down and see what's here. So this is definitely the nicest part of town or city. It's still busy with traffic though. But at least they've got big, wide spaces for pedestrians to walk. You know, it's not crowded actually. It's less crowded than the next street or the first street, which I was showing you where all the bikes are. So you got things like obviously Louis Vuitton, Omega, Yves and Rocher. You've got obviously Nike store. It's very similar to what you'd find in London, really. It all seems to kind of mould into one big kind of melting pot of stores, doesn't it, really, when you think about it? But it's a lot nicer than some areas like this. So yeah, this is exactly as I remember it. But I always thought that by the time I came back, because it's been a while, that they'd have done something about the traffic, but they don't seem to have. I don't think that's ever going to change. But yeah, it's quite nice to wander down here after all this time. And it's kind of what you'd expect from a metropolitan district, really, or area. Much the same as a lot of the places within Europe itself. But it's quite nice. I mean, it's quite pleasant to walk down. Much better than this other street that I showed you. But then again, it's always the same. They always have a nice part that the tourists see, and then a part that the tourists don't really see, only the locals. So you got your Rolex shop there. Yeah, it's just as you'd expect, really. It is quite nice. It's quite pleasant. I mean, it is nice and pleasant, but it's not me. I mean, it's too clean, too clinical. I'm sure a lot of people would love the shops and all that kind of thing, and window shopping and going to their favourite emporium or whatever they do. But it's not my thing, really. It's nice enough, it's pleasant, it's quiet. I was warned though I was kind of warned to make sure there was nothing on the bike when I locked it up, because there are quite a few bike thefts here, but I'm sure that's the same as any other big city, to be honest. I don't think that really is going to change much from city to city. So here's the Eiffel Tower. I'll just scan up and bring it all down. And those of you in the UK, it probably reminds you a little bit of another tower that's actually in Blackpool. It's called the Blackpool Tower. But as we pan round, you can see the river scene, cafes, little cafe culture and bars, which is quite nice. And there's the square, which I'm going to head up there because I haven't been there for years. That's where I did the I think Lord Mayor's New Year's parade way back. Yeah, I think it's about 2006 when I did that, and I haven't been on that square for, well, not since then. So it'd be nice to see if it's changed. But yeah, there's the tower. Hopefully it's going to be around a little bit longer. because I know they're having the structural issues with corrosion, but you know, they usually find a workaround or a fix. But yeah, so this is where the Eiffel Tower is. So they've pedestrianised this area. It used to be just a road basically that came off of the square up there, which is where we're heading. So it looks like they're still celebrating the Olympics, and there's plenty of people taking selfies and pictures of the Eiffel Tower, which is, it's quite nice. I suppose that's what you come here for. So we're just heading up towards this square, basically at the top of that bank where you can see all the people walking down in the distance. Well, they have changed it. They've made it pedestrianised. This bit was a road prior to it being pedestrianised, and it just basically went straight up to the left, across the top of the buildings and back down the other side, roughly where those yellow cranes are. So yeah, this was a road, so they've changed it into like a walkway. So yeah, walkway each way, and yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, to be honest, it was just a square road. I mean, it wasn't anything special. I call it the square, but it's the Trocadero, and doesn't look like they've done much up the top there, which I don't think they could alter that, but we'll go and have a look. Okay, now that's the old road, the one I was telling you about. Basically just went up, along and down. It's all been concreted over, all pedestrianised. Looks like they haven't finished it, so they've done that bit. So rather than continue with it, what they've done is they've made the other side there into a pedestrian walkway, and also this is all going to be pedestrianised. So yeah, it's changing, but not too sure if it's for the better, but there you go. I don't know, everything seems to have been roll the dice, throw things in the air and see what sticks. Well, that's the impression from going around the city. I could be wrong, you know, but that's my impression, and I'm sure it's not, but that's what it looks like. So I'm just at the top now in the plaza, or this square, and basically it's quite busy, but look at that. And there's another one over there in the corner you might be able to see by the person with the white coat on. There's another one down there. There's literally people at the top of there doing the same thing, and over there as well. And all the way down that walkway, there's literally, this place has been ruined by grifters. Yeah, it completely ruins it, because when they weren't here, it had a much nicer feel about the place. It just feels like it's a way to make a cheap buck. Basically, it's all to make a cheap buck. Even though the buildings are stunning, the view over the top is really nice. You've got more beautiful buildings over here, and then you got about 50 people grifting. Yeah, not good. Completely changes the place. I mean, this place was stunning. It still is, really, but I think they've kind of ruined it. Yeah, it's completely changed. It's not. This is why I don't like touristy places, because it's all false and fake. Well, there you go. But that's me. I like to find places that people don't go to very often. But I mean, the place is gorgeous. I mean, it's stunning. You can't say it's not, but pop-up stalls, grifters, I don't know. Okay, so I'm back in Ypres with the Honda again, and there's a reason for that, because there's a bit of a change of plans, because just let this siren go past. So as I was saying, there's a bit of a change of plans. Basically, originally I was going to go down to Slovenia, but that's kind of had to wait, because I got to Paris. Well, I got off the ferry early this morning, and I didn't feel well at all. You can probably tell by my voice, not very strong at the moment. So I decided to head into Paris and see how it went, but that didn't go so well. So just felt a bit rough, dizzy, which is not good when you're on a bike. So I decided to change the plan. So instead of going to the Slovenia and then down into Croatia and back, so I decided to revisit Bruges, Bratislava, etc., because my camera got damaged previously, and another camera decided to lose all of its recordings, so I went and just redid that. So it's a bit of a shorter trip, and then later on I'm going to have to delay going down to Slovenia anyway, and the reason for that is because the weather's really closing in. I kind of left it a bit late, really, to be honest, all the way through from so I told you I wasn't feeling very well, all the way through to Paris. It was barely above freezing, because early hours of the morning, and even during the day when you're on the bike, it was about 5 degrees, which isn't great. So I decided to just go up the other way, which was slightly warmer. It got into sort of the 10 degrees ish kind of area. So I got Paris done, and I went round and did the other bits and pieces that I needed to do. So hopefully this video will make more sense. But at the end of the day, these things happen. So had to rejig all the plans, rejig the return ferries, etc., but it kind of all worked out in the end. So yeah, so I think next time I'm not going to leave it so late, because really you don't really want to be doing 1,000-mile non-stop journeys in about 14 to 18 hours at a time at temperatures that are barely above freezing. So I'm just walking through Ypres up to the Menin Gate, because the last post is about to start in about 5 minutes. But while we're walking, just a little bit on the Honda. If you have a look at this Google timeline, you can actually see where I've been in the last 24 months. I've literally been on this bike from Aberdeen, which is kind of way up in Scotland, all the way through to the Ukrainian borders and across the borders. Unfortunately, it doesn't record that for some reason, but anyway, it's recorded me going through the border, that's enough, that's all I need. And then all the way down to Slovakia, and all of the other countries that I've actually been through in the last 24 months. So if you have a look at it, is basically this bike's been around the world, or the equivalent of around the world, in 22 months. So it's done really, really well. And I can't really fault the bike, because it's just Timex, it just keeps on going. It's had just normal routine maintenance, and that's about it really. So would I change it? No, I wouldn't actually, because as much as a lot of people decide to go with the Transalp and the Africa Twin, I believe this one's a better all-rounder. So just have a look at this timeline here, and then it just gives you a rough idea of the amount of places and the amount of miles that this bike's actually done. So this is the Menin Gate getting ready for the last post. As you can see, it's been restored, which is nice. All the names have been cleaned up, the roof's been redone, or cleaned up rather, and that's quite good. And it hasn't, we've got about 20 minutes before it starts, and even on a cold night like this, there are lots and lots of people gathering already, so it's going to be quite a busy time of it. I didn't expect this many people when it's this cold. And these are just one panel of all the names of the people that were killed in the First World War. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 12 panels. And they're even on the columns, right into the roof.